Yeah, what's up? We're having a party over here. Let's go. It's lunchtime. Get your lunch. Get your lunch in. What's up, guys? I was experimenting with music. What do you guys think about this track? I'm gonna start messing around with different tracks for the intro song. See what you guys think. Leonard, what up? McLovin in the house. Cheers. Welcome to the SATS Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Woo, that's nice. It's nice to get back on here. I miss getting on here, guys. Gosh, I can't not do a show. I can't not get on here and talk about Bitcoin. Getting the signal all morning. McLovin knows, you know. McLovin, I was watching British Hodl before Simply Bitcoin Turn came on, so I was like already super signaled out. So gotta digest that stuff still, but it's good. All right, so let's get to the business of what we do here on the show. We like to. My whole goal is to just demonstrate how easy it is to start saving in Bitcoin, and hopefully nudge some of you guys into doing the research and looking into it and seeing that, you know, it's not that hard. It's very easy. We can usually DCA in about 5 minutes once you have it set up, right? So today we're gonna do a DCA like we always do, and if you don't know what a DCA is, it's short for dollar cost averaging, which means you set up a schedule where you buy an X amount of Bitcoin at X interval. So for example, we're buying $10 a day, Monday through Friday. That's our minimum DCA schedule for here on the show. And then if the price of Bitcoin is below our average buy price, we like to spice it up a little bit and do a double buy when the price of Bitcoin is below our average buy price. So that's the premise of the show. And also, I'll throw in a little signal here and there just to get you guys familiar with the concept of Bitcoin, with the many different facets of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has so many things going that it's really hard to digest everything at once. So we'll cover one specific thing about it here and there, and then eventually the more shows you watch, the more you'll pick up on it, and it starts to make more and more sense. Okay? All right. With that said, first of all, let's kill this music here, and let's get into the first segment of the show, which is SAT Strength. All right, today we're using satstats.net for our statistics on the Bitcoin price and how many Satoshis you can buy for a single dollar. The current value of Bitcoin is $26,616. Where is it? Sats per dollar. Where is it? There it is. Sats per dollar. See that symbol? That's a Satoshi symbol. That's why we use it on the show logo here on the left. But Sats per dollar right now is 3,757 Satoshis. That means you can buy that many Satoshis for a single dollar right now. Okay, so it's not cost prohibitive, right? Anybody can spare a few bucks and buy a little stack of Bitcoin. Okay. You don't have to buy the whole Bitcoin at $26,616. You can buy fractions of a Bitcoin. Those fractions of a Bitcoin are called Satoshis, and we call them Sats for short. Anyway, if you can accumulate 10 million Satoshis, that's equivalent to one whole Bitcoin, just like 100 pennies is equivalent to one whole dollar. Okay? All right, that's the basics. And with that said, let's just say you're walking down the street, minding your own business. You look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day you'll have, refresh, 37 Satoshis. 37 Satoshis for one penny. It's just a different way of looking at it, guys. It's about, pretty much the same stat, but it's more impactful if I show you guys the penny. How cheap a Satoshi is. In the future, it might be 1 penny for one Satoshi when Bitcoin hits $1 million. That's gonna be crazy. And what is sentiment? Oh, that's a good one, Leonard. Let's go that real quick. Okay, so that's the SAT strength. Let's go back to sentiment. Oops. Right here. Okay. Sentiment is how the whole market feels about. There's two sentiments in trading, right? In markets, it's fear and greed. Okay, so fear and greed. Fear can make you sell when you shouldn't, right? And greed can make you buy when you shouldn't. It's kind of, it's what the It's what the market makers use to manipulate people. It's like part of human psychology, right? Part of psychology. It's your instincts are fear and greed, right? So if the fear index is high, yeah, exactly. If the fear index is high, that means it's a lower number. So it goes from like 0, which is like the most fear, to like 100, which is the most greedy. And it's just an overall assessment of how people are looking at the market right now. So when the sentiment is in fear, most people will not buy, right? They're afraid to buy into something because they think it's going to go lower, right? But that's historically that's probably been the best time to buy, because it's when nobody's trying to buy it, so it's already cheap, and you usually get the most gains when you do that, right? And the opposite of that is greed. So when the sentiment is in the plus 50 range, you're in the I think it's plus 50. You're in the greed section of the chart, and that means that people are just buying like crazy because they think it's gonna keep going up forever, because it's probably already had a big run, right? And they can just go all in at the top, which is the worst place you want to go all in, because that's where that's where the price will usually reverse, and they'll trap you up there in the high prices because you can't sell, because now you're at a loss if you sell, right? So fear sentiment is usually used for like trading. It's on here because it's an interesting detail to have, but we on the show I'm always buying, right? I'm not selling. My thesis is not to trade it. My thesis is just to accumulate as much as I can before it goes to the moon, right? And even after it does go to the moon, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to keep accumulating it at my DCA pace until I can't stack anymore, okay? But that's the plan. So let's just roll this into the why we stack. With the dramatic music in the background, hopefully it sounds inspirational. We're stacking because the rate at which the money is being printed, well, at this point, there's nothing you can do to keep up with it. It's a torrent of money and credit that's being issued, and no matter what you do, you can't save enough to counteract how fast they're printing the money, how fast the money supply is expanding. It's expanding, I heard recently, at $1 trillion per month, right? So that's how fast your money's getting debased, right? So that tells you that if you're saving in the dollar, if you're not saving in some kind of asset, right? If you don't have enough money now to get into another type of asset like a real estate or something like that, then you're basically getting robbed. Your purchasing power is getting diluted every month, every year, right? To the tune of about half of your purchasing power in the span of about 7 years. Okay, so that's why we stack. That's why we stack value in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is immune to the money printing practices of the governments, not just our government, but governments all over the world, right? So that's why we stack. Super easy. If anybody has any specific questions, do put them in the chat. If you're here for the first time, chilling, and you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Wait that 1 minute. Say hello in the chat, and today I will send you 1,000 satoshis as a thank you for subscribing and for taking the time to sit here and learn about a little bit about Bitcoin, for having that curiosity to learn about Bitcoin. It's gonna help you more than it helps me. The trade anyway. So it's gonna be more valuable for you to learn about Bitcoin than it is for me to have your subscription. Okay, even though subscription is free. But you're here. If you're here, learn about Bitcoin, study Bitcoin, and there's so many resources out there that are great. But the only thing that I do give you this caveat is stay away from any other coins. Focus strictly on learning about Bitcoin. Focus on learning how our money system works, right? And you'll get it slow and steady. Don't be bashful, y'all. It's an interactive show. That's right, McLovin. Cool. All right. So with that said, keeping the show nice and tight and fast today. Unless anybody's new and wants to get their SATS, we're gonna jump in to. Oh, where do we stack? Yeah, to the stack recap. Okay, this is where we cover our position on the show. Okay, we started this show. Oops, here it is. Look at that. May 22nd is when we first stacked our first $5 worth of Bitcoin. And we've been stacking ever since with a few exceptions. Okay. Our current position is 4 million sats, 0.04 Bitcoin. We've spent $1,168.51, and the value of our Bitcoin stack is $1,114.74. We have a 4.6% loss. But remember, it's not a loss until you cash out, okay? So if we were to sell our Bitcoin now, then yes, we would be at a loss. But that's not the plan, guys. The plan is not to sell your Bitcoin. The plan is for the SAT count to go up, okay? We don't care if the price of Bitcoin goes up or down. It's trending up over the long term. And the way they print money, they're going to keep pumping your bag because Bitcoin is scarce, right? It's a limited supply. And so it will reflect the weakness of the dollar over time. As the weakness of the as the dollar gets weaker because they're printing it into oblivion, then you need more dollars to buy the same things, and therefore your Bitcoin stack will appreciate in value relative to the dollar. Okay, we gotta start looking at things from the SATS perspective, from the Bitcoin's perspective, right? We gotta start looking at things that way, right? How many Bitcoin did it take to buy a house 10 years ago? Right? A lot of Bitcoin. How many Bitcoins will it take to buy a house now? A lot less than it did 10 years ago, I'll tell you that much. So if you start looking at the world in terms of Bitcoin prices, in terms of Bitcoin as the base unit, in terms of Bitcoin as like the money. What up, Carl? Let's go. Are you back, Carl? I know you're out on holiday. Round of applause from live studio audience for Carl. As you accumulate Bitcoin, it will appreciate more and more, and things priced in Bitcoin will become cheaper, right? So you'll need less and less Bitcoin to buy the same things, as opposed to needing more and more dollars to buy the same things. Okay, so that's how amazing that is. Okay, but putting your wealth in Bitcoin, putting your value in Bitcoin, gets you off of that uphill swim up a waterfall, right? And puts you on the lazy river, cruising towards wealth, because instead of fighting against the whole system, the system is actually working for you at that point. Okay, so that's just mind blowing, and that's without doing anything else. That's without doing anything else. I gotta go back to this view, guys. That's without doing anything else. Okay, that's how big of an opportunity it is that people are not getting. You can go and start a business and make a ton of money, and that business can still be losing value because it's getting siphoned away with inflation, right? Or you have the job you have now. You set some Bitcoin. You set money aside in Bitcoin. You start saving. You try to get to that one Bitcoin, right? We're gonna follow British Hodl's advice. He says he's starting a hashtag called get to one Bitcoin. Okay, we're gonna follow. It's a good goal to have. Get to one Bitcoin. If you guys can get to one Bitcoin, you guys will be set. Okay, and not get to one Bitcoin in 10 years. Get to one Bitcoin, a mother loving sap. Okay, a McLovin sap. Okay, get to one Bitcoin as soon as you can, because there's so many things that are gonna happen. And I mean, nobody's a fortune teller. I can tell you 100% for sure, right? I'm not Zoltar, the guy in the machine, but there's so much. What do they call it? It's asymmetric opportunity. Okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? Do you guys think Bitcoin will ever go to zero? I don't think so. Especially now, I don't think Bitcoin will ever go to zero, right? Okay, so will it ever go to even 15,000, right? Okay, so from here to 15,000, it's 26. You lose about 50% of your value if you sell, right? So let's just say it goes back to the last low, 15,000, right? And you're down half of your portfolio on that Bitcoin thing, right? As long as you don't sell it, you're still in the game, right? It still has potential to come back up and regain your value. But on the flip side, let's say you don't get in now and you wait for that 15 to drop again, and it never comes, and then it goes up to 30, 40, 50, and then you're out of the game, and all that money that you're hoping to invest at 15 is not even in there, and you know you're kind of priced out, because once those ETFs get approved, once the halving happens, that price is going to move, okay? And those two things alone are going to pump the price, and those two things together are going to mega pump the price, okay? And you don't even know when some country is going to announce that they're going to hold Bitcoin as a reserve, right? And if that happens, it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen more and more, because people see how well El Salvador is doing with their Bitcoin as I think it's like Bitcoin-backed government bonds, right? Anyway, let's get back to the actual stack recap, guys. Oh man, I'm excited, guys. I feel the energy. Midday, it's lunchtime, and yeah, when I've been doing this show in the evenings, it's after jiu-jitsu where I've been wrestling with full size grown men, and been choked a bunch of times, so it's nice to have energy for the show. All right, so if you're new to the show and you're watching for the first time and you haven't subscribed yet, hit subscribe. Wait that 1 minute so you can chat, and once you can chat, say hello in the chat, and I will send you today 1,000 SATS right now, live over the Lightning Network. I'm a believer in the Lightning Network. I think it's going to help Bitcoin spread. It makes it more usable, and I'm willing to give up 1,000 SATS to you right now, right? For you to get a feel for it, to understand how it works. And yeah, just let me know in the chat, and I will send you 1,000 SATs. We'll once you communicate something in the chat, I'll tell you guys how to do it. All right, here we go. Back to sushi all day. Let's go. Yeah, don't eat that marshmallow today, and you can have 2 marshmallows in 10 years. Let's go. Free SATs. Let's go. All right. So that's a SAT recap, guys, along with a little extra signal. And like I said, man, I'm hyped today. Still hype. Okay. Okay. That's a SAT recap. That's our current position. And now, since the price of Bitcoin is below our average buy price, today we're going to do a little double stack in the next segment. It's time to stack some SATs, boys. Let's go. Okay, we don't just talk the talk around here. We're actually going to buy some Bitcoin live during the show. Okay? Here we go. We like to use swan.com. This is my account for the show. Buy some Bitcoin here. Oops, I gotta expand this page a little bit. Give me a second. $20. All right, I'm going to do my preview. I'm going to take my screenshot up here. Preview, screenshot. There we go. Take my show notes over here. Today is episode number 65. Okay, we're back. We're back doing this during the lunch hour, boys. Lunch hour show. It's probably not lunch hour for some of you guys, East Coast. McLovin's already done with lunch. What you have for lunch, McLovin? I'm gonna dox your lunch right now, guys. What do you guys have for lunch? I need some lunch ideas. Some lunch ideas. All right, here we go. Here we go. Cut the music, producer. I'm the producer. Drum roll, please. Oh shoot! Oh shoot! Is it gonna happen? Oh, it's happening! It's happening! Ooh, you're on that You're on that OMAD program, McLovin? Damn, you're probably yoked out. Yeah, dude, I love that. I was on the keto diet with like doing 1 meal a day and intermittent fasting. Dude, I dropped like 40 pounds. It was wild. Okay, so it looks like we've stacked with Bitcoin. We've stacked with Swan. If you haven't used Swan before, if you're interested in checking them out, check out this link, Swan. You can use our affiliate link and you will get $10 of free Bitcoin. That's like a $10 stack if you're starting your stacking journey. Cool. Also, if you're new to learning about Bitcoin and you don't want to get distracted, confused, or derailed or wrecked by somebody trying to sell you, let's just call it what it is, guys, shit coins, poop coins, altcoins, join our Discord server. Okay, our Discord server is called Stack SATS Show Discord. Let's see Discord. And go in there, say hello. And if you have any questions, I can answer your questions. I pretty much post stuff in there with like for all the different phases of where you might be in your Bitcoin journey. And if you have any trouble with specific things, you can ask questions there, and then I can make an episode about it here. Okay. All right. That said, let's jump back into our browser and update our spreadsheet with today's buy. Oh, what did Carl say? It's 4:30 a.m. Saturday for me right now. I'm in the future. Chee! Let us know what the price of Bitcoin is doing. That's so awesome. Future man, Carl. Let's go, Carl, from the future. Okay, today's price is 26,654. We bought $20 worth of Bitcoin and it cost us 20 cents. So we include that in our price just to keep it simple, because it is what it costs us to get that much Bitcoin, right? And we got 0.00075035 Bitcoin, which translates to 75,035 Satoshis. And then that gets added to our overall total, and we will see what that is in a second. Okay, so our average buy price so far is 27,638. This average buy price is more of a ballpark because it doesn't take into account the amount of Bitcoin we bought. It just takes into account the price and that we bought it each line. So the more accurate one is the one that we're doing on each line here. So 27,638 is our average buy price. And so our gain loss might be a little bit higher, but it doesn't matter. We are close. We're at 4.2. We just hit a new target. I mean, of course, we're always hitting new targets, but this is worth noting. We're at 4.25 million Satoshis. We're past 4.25 million Satoshis. Remember, guys, when we had what? When we had 18,000 sats right here? It's crazy. Now we got 4.2 million sats. A little at a time, regardless of the price. We're stacking daily and making it happen. Okay. This stacking schedule here is pretty light, I think. Maybe. I don't know. If you're trying to get to 1 Bitcoin ASAP, you need to stack a lot harder than that. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, I think Carl and Leonard are ready for Simply Bitcoin now, because they'll get the humor now. They'll get the jokes. They'll get they won't be completely wondering what the hell's going on. So you guys should watch that show, guys. It's pretty entertaining. It's like at 9:15 our time. 9:15 our time. It's pretty funny, like in a good way. Very cool. Okay, so with that, we have certainly stacked them sats, and so it's time to wrap up the show. Unfortunately, chilling. All right, we got 6 concurrent viewers. That's like an all-time high. Maybe we had 7 before. But if you're watching, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this show. If you have any questions, you can always put it in the chat. You can, if you're watching the replay, put your questions in the chat there. and I will answer your question on the next live episode. If you're a replay watcher like Low Laid, shout out to you. It's been a while since I've seen you in here, but I hope everything is well. Yeah. If you think I'm messing with you, I'm not gonna actually send you the 1,000 sats. Don't think that. I actually have. McLovin, Carl, Leonard, they all got their 1,000 sats. Okay, so if you want your 1,000 sats, all you gotta do, step up, say hi. I'm here for my sats in the chat, and I'm gonna send you 1,000 sats live over the internet with the magic internet money we like to call Bitcoin through the Lightning Network, the layer 2, baby. That's what we do. Cheers. All right, guys. Have a good rest of the day. And a good weekend too. Damn, it's Friday, son. All right, it's Friday. Have a great weekend. I hope you guys have just an amazing weekend. Okay, stay positive, stay stacking, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Cheers. May the SATS be with you. In your self-custody wallet, that is.